Alright, I have a few weird grammatical tendencies and preferences, you could say. The way that language has evolved, in my opinion, over the internet is quite interesting. In the ways that people talk differently through use of emoji and internet slang, how we integrate expression into our speech through grammar. When speaking online, I very rarely will use capital letters, but I'll use full stops, and if I can be bothered, I'll use apostrophes and other grammatical features, like colons and semicolons, usually I'll use those. But capital letters, not so much, unless it's random capitalization. If I'm yelling a word, so if I'm supposed to be yeah! Okay, so say I was saying yeah, then I would do lowercase y, then capital E-A-H, because it's yeah! So you start with the lower case, and then so it's you're starting on a normal speaking level, and then you just slowly go up in tone, if that makes any sense. So I do that quite a bit. I feel like grammar can depend on different circumstances, so grammar is circumstantial. I'm going to use good grammar if I'm sending somebody an email. Say, if I was sending my Japanese teacher an email, I would use good grammar, nice language, I would make it very polite and formal. That's regardless of how I speak to other people on the internet, because I still feel like grammar has that tone of formality that you don't need to have with your friends. I'm not saying that good grammar isn't important. I think it's very important in different circumstances. But yeah, it's just really interesting to see how different people communicate online and the ways that people adapt language to then suit their own needs on how they want to communicate what they want to say. Language is so adaptable, and I think it's great that we have the fluidity of speaking in person and online, and it can be so different. Language is so transformable. It's really interesting to see how people who aren't avid users of the internet, they don't understand a lot of what that language is. For example, people using LOL instead of saying it as laugh out loud, it's lots of love. That's just one miscommunication of how we've adapted language as a younger generation. I think it's also really interesting to note how we use irony a lot as a generation, especially in text. For example, I would say that I use your, you are, the two letters. I use that to show that I'm being ironic and that I'm saying something without meaningful intention. So say I'm saying you're a loser to my friend, then they'll know that I don't actually mean that because I'm using irony. I saw a Tumblr post the other day that kind of sparked this whole train of thought. I'll try and find that and leave it in the description because it was really interesting and it was a really good read, so it wasn't too long. It was good. Yeah, so I'm quite passionate about how I use grammar, and I'm quite proud of it, I guess. Probably shouldn't be as proud of it as I am, but I just really like the aesthetic of the way that I write. I just think it looks really good, and it looks much better than good grammar. Alright, well that was a rant and a half. So thanks for watching if you made it this far. Hope you learned something. I don't know. Alright. Bye. That was fun.